Welcome to the Voice of Web3 podcast powered by CoinGape, where we bring the biggest names and the sharpest minds in crypto and blockchain. I'm Yeli, your host, and today we join one and only Lark Davis, crypto investor, educator, and the most trusted voices in the crypto space. Lark, a true market expert who went from teacher to crypto millionaire in his 30s. Before we join in, don't forget, like and subscribe to Voice of Web3 below and help us connect you with top experts in crypto. This is not at all that Lark has built a reputation for delivering valuable content that's regularly featured in top industry media outlets. He's popular content creator on YouTube, helping both beginners and seasoned traders navigate the complexities of blockchain and digital assets. So today we dive in deep into his market predictions, the next big trends in blockchain and crypto, and his personal strategies for building a winning crypto portfolio. Handout in the end, and Lark reveals how this bull run can help you and your friends to make generational wealth in crypto. Thank you for joining, Lark. This is fantastic to have you, and how's it going?
Thanks for having me on. It's a wonderful introduction. Really excited to be here and talk to you guys.
Yeah, you have really cool experience, and it seems to me that you are for a long time in the industry, and you got experience, not this bull run, if we can call it bull run. So, can you tell us more how you came to the industry? And how was your first bull run?
Sure. So this is the third bull run. Very exciting. 2 bear markets, 3 bull runs down. Third bear market coming soon. Now, look, I've been making content nonstop in crypto since 2017, and the content's changed over time. I now focus more on just broad news and sharing all kinds of insights, research that we do. When I started off in 2017, it was very much documenting my journey in crypto, going through the struggles and sharing things as I learned them. I started posting content actually on a different social media platform I'm not even sure exists anymore. It's called the Steam blockchain. With a fork of BitShares. Crazy times back then. All these new ideas you think are so new these days have just been done time and time again before. But anyway, started posting stuff over there. It was a bit of fun. And I started posting videos on YouTube in order to post them over there as well. And they kind of started taking off. And really the content creation began around people asking me questions. Lark, what's this? Lark, how do I do this? And I have no idea, but I'm going to find out and I'll make a video about it. And so I kind of started off in that way. And the 2017 bull market was a very interesting one for a whole variety of reasons. It was when ICOs were popular and we had a lot of coins going absolutely crazy, and everything was the new Ethereum, the Korean Ethereum, the Chinese Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. But obviously the big challenge that anyone will face in their first bull market is not absolutely selling everything. Okay, so that was my big mistake in bull run number 1, was not taking huge amounts of profits. So bull run number 2, a lot better. Bull run number 3, we're going to sell it all.
Yeah, and it's also interesting. I got your thought that when you met the first bull run, it's important not to sell because the market is grow, and you didn't know that it's coming like this. But the most interesting of your story is also that you quit your regular job as a teacher. And how did you make this decision? And how it was? I'm pretty sure that it's not the easiest decision in your life.
Look, I was working as an English teacher at the time, and it's something I enjoyed. I enjoyed teaching, right? But I also had this thought in the back of my mind: I'm never going to live the kind of life that I want to live, have a nice house or anything like that by doing this, right? It's not a very well-paid job, unfortunately. Teachers should be paid more in society. I 100% agree on that. We were just talking the other day about how a teacher from the school where our son went to school back in New Zealand, he's going to Australia because, of course, you get a better money over there. Anyway, different story. But essentially, I quit my day job November 2017, near the peak of the bull run, about 6 weeks before the bull run peaked. I quit my day job. And that was an interesting decision because it was really by that point, I'd learned so much about crypto, and I just thought, this isn't going anywhere. This is going to be the new big thing. This is the value layer of the internet. And regardless of what happens over whatever time frame, this is going to be big, and I want to be involved in what's going on here in whatever way that I can by educating all that kind of stuff in the market. So that was kind of the idea. And the day job, it was sad to finish it, but honestly, I haven't looked back since then. I haven't thought, well, if I only could go back to that. It's not just about the money, of course. I mean, obviously make a lot more money currently than I did as a teacher, but it's really just about being so excited about what's going on every day. I love working in this industry. It's a fantastic industry to work in. There's always new things happening, always new things to challenge you and to keep you learning and to keep you ahead. Try to keep ahead of the curve, of course, because that's part of what we do. The Wealth Mastery newsletter or on the YouTube channel, the X account, we're trying to keep people up to date on what's going on. So it's a lot of stuff going on all the time, but it was a bit of a scary move. And in 2018, it was one of those moments where you think, was this really a great decision? But I'd already, burned the bridges. I wasn't going back. Whatever was going to happen, I was going to make it work. And the 2018 bear market was a rough bear market. It was one of those bear markets where you think, are we really going to make it? Is it really going to come back? They're very different from the 2022 bull market where on-chain activity was absolutely soaring and the attention was still there and people were still doing stuff. It was very, very different. Whereas 2018 was an existential crisis moment. Are we actually going to produce anything of value from this industry, right? But we did, and things kept happening, and it allowed me a year to step back a bit and perfect my craft as a content creator and, get better at that and think about how we can move forward and all these kind of things. So yeah, it was a big move, but a move that in the end worked out incredibly well.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the two bull runs differs one from each other, and how you feel this third year bull market it differs from previous.
Look, every bull market, bear market cycle is different but the same, okay? Because there's a thing that never changes in market cycles, and that's human psychology. We tend to, especially as a group, react in a similar way to similar events. And people who make the most money in markets get to be a bit contrarian, right? You have to be a bit contrarian. I was actually talking to some guy the other day, and he said, Lark, you need to stop telling people to take profits and to sell and to manage something because everyone's going to front run you and everyone's going to sell and the market's not going to, dude, you have no idea. When the market's absolutely going crazy, anybody who sells is going to be called an idiot. You're going to be attacked viciously online for daring to sell because we're in the super cycle and it's only going to go up. The greed will be off the charts. And that's something that repeats every market cycle. The greed, the fear, the human emotion ballet that goes on as a cryptocurrency investor, or really any investor, specifically cryptocurrency, due to high retail participation in the market, it's going to play out largely the same. Look, there's always new catalysts, right? In 2017, we had a whole host of new catalysts, from the ICO craze to the listing of Bitcoin futures contracts at the CME, I think what happened back in December 2017. Then you fast forward a few years, we have MicroStrategy buying, we have all these new things that started happening, we have the NFT craze. Then of course this cycle, it's about institutional adoption for ETFs, about corporate adoption increasing, Memecoin mania, all that stuff. So there's always new catalysts to get people coming back to the casino, okay? But the truth of the matter is that the patterns tend to play out a bit similarly throughout cycles. And I don't think that this cycle will be any different. And when Bitcoin gets to $200,000, something like that, everyone's going to start screaming super cycle. We're going to go to $1 million. Those people will be trapped. Other people will be taking profits. You want to be on the take profit side of the equation.
Yeah, thank you. And do you remember what was your first earning on crypto and maybe losses?
Yeah, so the first crypto I earned, quote unquote, was actually back on that Steam blockchain, that social media thing from way back in 2017. And it was basically, if you got an upvote, you'd get tokens, right? And they were worth real money. And so that was very exciting. But I think my first really big win that made me go, holy crap, this is more than I could ever imagine, was I don't remember the name of it anymore. Something that got listed on Binance. This is, anything listing on Binance, which was super hot back in the day. And it was some sort of like, I don't know, food delivery app that was going to start using crypto. And anyway, but I had invested in that pre-sale, and it went just nuts on listing. And I'd invested, I don't know, a few $1,000s or something. And it came out like 6 figures. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going? This is insane beyond belief. So it was one of my first really, really big wins in the market. And then, gosh, over the years, there's been so many losses. And this is the thing is, you have to understand, you're going to lose so often in this market. If you're getting into meme coins, 99% of them are total garbage, going to go to zero. New AI agents, most of them are just going to be riding on the hype, going to go to zero. New listing coins, there's so much BS that happens behind the scenes when it comes to new listings. Teams don't add liquidity, they fumble everything. There's so many things that can go wrong and often do go wrong as an investor in the market. But I think one of the losses that stressed me out the most was the Luna collapse. Right, not because I was worried about my Luna bags necessarily. I actually got out of those around break even, so it wasn't the worst thing in the world. It went from being worth $100 a token to $6 per token before I got out, say la vie. But the big problem was the exposure that I had to UST stablecoin. I'd been providing liquidity into the pool that had USDT, DAI, Maker's stablecoin, and the UST stablecoin. And so I woke up and the pool had been raided, right? And it was just left a bunch of UST stablecoins, which were dropping in value dramatically. And so that was a very stressful few days trying to mitigate the losses around that and stuff. So there's so many things that go wrong in crypto, and they often do. That's why we say to take profits. And when you do take profits, here's a tip for everybody. When you do take profits, don't go back in. Don't put your money in DeFi. Don't put your money lending somewhere. Don't buy new coins. Just take it in stable coins and either hold it in stable coins like USDC or USDT, or get out of the market altogether and put it back in your bank account. Okay? Don't keep trying to keep things rolling, because when the bear market comes, that's when everything starts to break. That's when the leverage unwinds. And there's huge leverage in the market right now. Okay? Huge leverage. And it's going to keep leveraging up until it doesn't, okay? And then the leverage starts to unwind. And the unwind of leverage in this market is what drives us down 60, 70, 80% in prices for top assets, and most assets are going to go to zero, okay? You have to remember that. So if you're trying to be clever, okay? You're going to take your profits. Oh, I just made a whole bunch of money in this coin, so now I'm going to buy this coin, I'm going to double my money again. Maybe that works once or twice. Chances are, though, at some point, you're going to get caught out. The market's going to top real fast. See, here's the thing. When the market tops, it tops real fast. Okay. Yes. And then you wake up tomorrow and everything's already down. Okay. And then you get in the state of denial where you think, oh, it's going to come back tomorrow and I'll just hold on. It'll double again. And it keeps going down, 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 down. Okay. You have to adapt to new realities very quickly in this market.
Yes. And if you remember, what did you buy on your first crypto earnings? Or you always keep this crypto for future investing? How is the strategy would be in this way? If for example someone has making some money in crypto, what is the best strategy? Do you need to buy something real in the real world, or is the best way is to invest in the future?
So there's a few different things. There's a few different things you can do, and it really depends on your individual financial situation. For some people, the money that they've got in crypto is just play fun money, right? And that might be a big number for some people, but it's still just play fun money. So if they make a 10x or something like that, they're just going to go buy a car or a watch or whatever, because it doesn't matter to them. But for the vast majority of you listening, I imagine it's not play money, and the temptation to go after a big win and buy a car or watch is the exact wrong thing to do. Because for some of you guys listening, you're going to get potentially life-changing money on the table, right? You're going to go from investing a few $1,000s to getting a few $100,000, maybe more back, and that can really change your financial destiny if you're smart about it. That's not the time to buy a car. If you're somebody who makes under $100,000 a year and you suddenly made a few $100,000, it's not time to buy a car. It's time to pay down debt. I know it's not sexy, but it's time to pay down debt. It's time to invest that money smartly, maybe get a rental property, maybe buy some dividend stocks, something like this. be smart about it, okay? If you get a big win, be smart about it. Don't just rush into buying dumb stuff. Now, if you make tens of millions of dollars, okay, that's buy the car, have fun, okay? But I know a lot of you guys are not going to make tens of millions of dollars. A lot of you guys might make hundreds of thousands of dollars, though. And that is not the level where you can go out and spend money on stupid stuff. That's the money where you should actually look and go, holy crap, this could be my chance to get out of debt. This could be my chance to create passive income for myself, buy a small business, buy a house for a rental property or something like that. Something that can really make a difference to you long term. Because if you just buy something for fun, all this effort will have been for nothing, essentially. Because I'll tell you what, as exciting as it is buying the car, buying the watch and stuff like that, the fun, the novelty aspect tends to fade pretty quickly. And then, okay, I've got it, great. I got a $20,000 watch, $100,000 or more car, whatever, fine. But it's just a car or watch, right? It's not going to keep creating a passive income throughout time. So be smart if you hit it big, okay? That would be one thing to say is be smart if you hit it big and actually plan for it, okay? When you hit it big, which I hope that a lot of you guys are going to, when you hit it big, put it into stable coins, take a moment back and breathe. Think about what's going on. Think about where we're actually in the market. Think it's actually a good idea to buy anything investment-wise at that time, right? Maybe you want to hang out in stable coins for a while. But be smart, okay? Here's an interesting analogy for you. The vast majority of lottery winners, and that's going to be the equivalent of what happens to some of you guys as the markets get absolutely nuts. It'll be like winning the lottery. You're going to wake up and you're going to have more money in your crypto account that you know what to do with. If you don't take profits, none of it's real, okay, until you click the sell button. Most of you guys won't take profits. Most of you guys will round trip your bags. It's just the nature of the market. Most people are only going to buy high and then sell low. It's a savage market. It's a brutal place, but that's the reality. But if you did position yourself correctly, if you did actually take profits, then you still have a lot of trouble to deal with because you run into the lottery winner's curse, right? Essentially, you've done so well, you've made so much money, but now what? Most people who win the lottery end up being massively depressed, turn to drugs and alcohol to make life fun again. They blow all their money on dumb stuff, and most people are broke again in a year, okay? And I'm gonna tell you, if you get a few $100,000 or more in your hand, that's potentially life-changing money if you do it right and you actually think about where you're gonna put that money next, okay? So be smart.
Yeah, and this is a really good piece of advice because I think at the moment there are some like traders, or I can call them traders, like investors who hold crypto for a long period of time. I think this is the period when like these investors can sell their crypto and buy something. So I think these words are really make sense. And you mentioned that it's really important to think about is it a good time to invest, or what portfolio should be looks like. So what do you think? How is the balance? How to balance crypto portfolio? Should it be like Bitcoin? Because there are many people who believe only in Bitcoin because it's the future of finance, it's the technology. Or what is the like perfect portfolio looks like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Memecoins, or like 80% of Bitcoins and other for altcoins?
Great question. Look, there's no perfect portfolio for everybody because everybody's different. And the reality is that some people probably shouldn't even be investing in crypto at all. They should stick with bonds because they have absolutely no risk tolerance. If you have a little bit of risk tolerance, and this is really what it comes down to, how much risk tolerance do you have and how much can you actually afford to lose? Now, if you have low risk tolerance, but also low time, right? You don't have time to be looking at all these different coins, but you want exposure to crypto more broadly, you can just buy Bitcoin and like Ethereum and Solana, for example. If you're really risk averse, just Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin ETFs or something like that. Don't think about it. You don't have to manage your keys. You don't have to do any of this stuff. Just buy some BlackRock Bitcoin ETFs and forget about it. Wait 10 or 20 years, then, see where you're at. If you have a little more risk tolerance, yeah, throw in some Ethereum and Solana, okay? Maybe one or two other altcoins of big cap things, and that's fine. That's all you need to do. Then you've got your exposure to crypto. You've taken 5% of your total investing portfolio, you put it in here. Now, you guys are, of course, the voice of Web3. This is a cryptocurrency-related podcast. Everybody's balls deep in crypto. So the question becomes is how much risk should you be taking? And that's an interesting question because again, it's going to be dependent for everybody, but I think a lot of people end up taking too much risk. Look, I play around with all kinds of silly stuff, and I tell you, there's a lot of risk out there in the market. If you're trying to, for example, be the person who wins it big in the meme coin game, I got bad news for you. You're probably not going to be that person. You're probably going to be the rule. And the rule in meme coins is that 99% of people lose money. Look at the pump.fund statistics. 95% of people on pump.fund lost money. About 4% made almost nothing, but they did make a little bit of money. 1% actually made a tiny bit of money, and like 0.1% of people actually made huge amounts of money, and they're almost certainly just insiders or just the guy who won the lottery equivalent, right? So this is something to keep in mind, okay, is that everybody's risk tolerance is going to be different, and most of you guys are probably taking too many risks, okay? So in terms of a perfect portfolio allocation, the idea doesn't exist, but there'll be a perfect portfolio for you depending on how much money you're willing to lose and how much risk you're willing to take, okay? And here's the funny thing with risk. Because most people are taking too much risk, you're actually underperforming people who are taking a little bit less risk than you, because everybody wants to be the lottery winner. Everybody wants to be the guy who buys, $1,000 of dog with hat when it's worth less than $1 million and turns it into millions, right? That person is out there, but you're probably not going to be that person. And that's a hard reality for you to hear, that you're probably not going to be the guy who gets the perfect entry on the next big meme coin. You're probably going to be the guy who loses every penny trying to play that game. Whereas if you take a little less risk, there's still a lot of great upside in the market. Now, we're in a tricky phase right now at the time that we're having this conversation, because we're starting the big markup period. And I don't think there's much time left to buy the vast majority of cryptocurrency assets. I think you needed to buy a few months ago. Now it becomes really, really tricky to make any new entries. Now there's new opportunities every day in the market, to be clear, but just blindly entering a whole bunch of positions, your risk reward changes every time the asset goes up $1 in price, okay? That's something you need to keep in mind. So every time, let's say Solana goes up by $1, the reward is a little bit less and the risk is a little bit more that you're going to lose your money on it. Now, great asset, right? But it will peak at some point and then it will have a massive correction in the bear market. That's just the reality of how assets work. And if you keep trying to buy high, you're much likely to be the guy who buys high and then sells low. Okay, so these are all things to keep in mind here. If you're a new investor looking at the market right now, you're a bit late. You're not super late. There are still lots of great opportunities, but you're late, okay? And you need to accept that reality and adjust your expectations accordingly.
But there is still a chance to invest.
100%. There's still a lot of great opportunities. There's still a lot of upside left in this market. But let me give you an example. If you're buying Bitcoin today, what's your actual expectation on that? If you buy Bitcoin today, you're going to get maybe 100 to 150% returns max, in my opinion, of course, by the end of the bull market cycle. Now, people are going to tell you it's going to go up to $1 million or something like that this cycle. I just don't believe those numbers. I don't. I would like to. It'd be great, but I don't think we get to $1 million Bitcoin until the 2030s, personally. That being said, 100, 150% returns is fantastic, right? If you can get that and cash that out, fantastic. However, most people want more than that coming into crypto, right? So if you're coming into buying XRP today or something like that, what's the realistic upside left for that? 200%, 300%, right? It's not going to go to the crazy price targets people are going to put out there. It's going to go $100 or something like that. It's just not going to happen. So there are opportunities, but you have to understand where the opportunities stand today, okay? How much is left of opportunity, right? So like when Bitcoin gets to $150,000 as an example, there's really not much opportunity left in buying it at that point in the cycle. Now people will buy it because they don't understand this, but the reality is that it's getting late. So we're late, we're not super late. Lots of opportunity left, but you have to understand, depending on when you hear this podcast, or at least remember this lesson for the future over the next few months, that putting new money into the market at a certain point becomes a very, very bad idea. And the time when it makes sense to put new money into the market is running short. Broadly speaking, again, there's always new opportunities, there's new listings, there's new coins, there's new meme coins, there's new AI agents, whatever, popping up every single day. So there's always new opportunity to roll the dice again and get a big win. But more broadly speaking, we're late.
Yeah, and it's easy to speak about risk management, but can you share how you manage this risk and what is the best practice, how to do this risk management?
Sure, fantastic, great question.
The gold rules from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that can really help with risk management is position sizing. And I see this is a very common mistake that people make. You find some new meme coin, some new AI agent, some new low cap gem, and you think, well, this is only worth $1 million or $5 million or something right now, market cap. If I invest all my money in it and it goes to $1 billion, I'm going to be a genius and I'll get super rich. The problem is, that's probably not what's going to happen. It's probably going to go to zero, just statistically speaking. And if you've risked all your money, well, you've made a key mistake, which is making too big a position sizing. For me, in my portfolio, whenever I enter into some of this low cap crazy stuff, I risk like usually less than 0.1% of my portfolio on these things, okay? So even less sometimes. Like I bought an AI agent the other day and my total risk exposure was like 0.01% of my portfolio. Okay. I didn't go and go, wow, gosh, I should like risk 5% of my portfolio. No way, that's crazy, man. My portfolio is more weighted towards low risk. Okay. So about 60% or so, altcoin's been surging recently, so it's lower than the normal allocation percentage, but about 60% of my portfolio is just Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Because they're low risk. I don't want to take that many risks. I know that if I hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, yes, they're going to do well, and I'll get good enough gains from those, and then I can take those more measured risks by position sizing correctly on other coins. So, for example, I've got like Aptos or Say or Phantom. I think they're all very exciting. They're all a couple of percentage points of risk in total. Again, right, I wouldn't put 100% of my portfolio in those coins, even though I think they're going to do very well, because I'm managing my risk. If I'm wrong, the downside is limited. If I'm right, the upside's potentially massive. So this is one way that people can really avoid the worst risk in the market, is simply by position sizing correctly.
Yeah, thank you. And if we speak, there is many, like today, there are many like meme coins, RVA, and different like popular tokens where investors want to jump. So how to find how to spot these trend tokens? Like in the previous market, NFTs, maybe NFT will be popular again, like DeFi projects, play to earn games projects. How to find these tokens that will be a good investment?
Sure, absolutely. Buy the good ones. That's out. No, look, the market goes through different phases and we have different attention spans for different things. Right now, AI agents are the hot thing, right? So people are just kind of blindly putting money into whatever the virtuals protocol is bringing up, for example. And of course, there's already bullshit coming out and low effort scams and all the rest of it, right? So it's going to happen. But in terms of trying to find the next big thing, sometimes it just requires a bit of patience, right? I've seen people jumping out of their bags to chase hype coins that are pumping big time only to get burned, and then their coin pumps later on, like Chainlink, for example. Chainlink's finally having a great pump, and people probably would have sold their Chainlink to hop into some hot meme coin 2 weeks ago, and now meme coin's down, Chainlink's up. So sometimes you just have to have a bit of conviction and believe in something, believe that the coins that you're holding are actually going to do well. Look, I think most of the narratives will have their time. Some narratives I'm more bullish on than others, and obviously AI has been such an absolute massive narrative. And we're looking for new launches in the AI sector. I think is going to continue to be a big money earner this cycle. So looking for new AI agents, new AI agent frameworks. We're even looking at existing stuff that's not getting as much love as it should necessarily. If you're more risk averse, you don't want to put your money into the newest sub-$1 million market cap AI agent coin. You can actually go for bigger cap stuff that's really proving itself in the AI space, the Near protocol as an example, or the Render token, not specifically AI render, but largely an AI sort of a proxy bet. So these kinds of coins can be a great way to get exposure to that, right? So all the niches will have their time, some more than others. Meme coins, AI, the biggest sectors by far. We'll see good moves on DeFi still. We'll see good moves on GameFi still. But there's other stuff that I think is, I don't know, like SocialFi. SocialFi is not something I'm very excited about. Layer 2 governance tokens, just, some of this stuff will move a little bit, but I think you'll underperform the market more broadly by getting into these kinds of coins.
Yeah, I agree. And market is always unpredictable. And what's your take on the current state of the market? Because there is regulation, there is start of bull market, perhaps. So what are you keeping your eyes?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm keeping my eye on, particularly, I think, the new administration in the USA. That's going to be a very defining moment for the cryptocurrency industry. We've got a new SEC head coming, which is going to mean that we're going to have more altcoin ETFs. We're going to have an XRP ETF. We're going to have a Solana ETF. We're going to have like a Dogecoin ETF. It's all coming. There's probably going to be 10 or 20 more altcoin ETFs by the end of next year. It'll get really crazy. So that's one thing that's going on. The idea of a US Bitcoin strategic reserve is absolutely crazy. Now Brazil's talking about doing a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We see states in America like Pennsylvania talking about having a Bitcoin strategic reserve for the state. So we're seeing really, really big things happen here at a regulatory level, at an adoption level, stuff that we've never seen before, stuff that we've been talking about for the last decade, but is finally starting to happen. And that's very, very exciting. So I think the potential for the market over the next, let's say 6, maybe 12 months, I'm not sure we're going to last 12 months, but let's say maybe 12 months, is absolutely massive, okay? We're going to see a lot of big news stories come out, a lot of big events happen, and that's very, very exciting. It has potential to absolutely drive the market forward in a very, very positive way. Now, that being said, to be very, very clear for everybody listening, this does not mean that the prices are going to go up in a straight line. It's simply never the case. There will be massive, gigantic pullbacks that make you question whether the bull market's over. There will be just all kinds of FUD and craziness, and it'll be messy. It always is. Look at every cycle we've had so far. It's always messy. There's always 20, 30% pullbacks on Bitcoin. Altcoins get slaughtered when that happens, okay? Expect this to happen. Be prepared for it to be happening. And that's why we're always saying, manage your risk accordingly, ladder out of your positions, make sure you're taking profits, okay? Some of these coins, by the way, they're going to come, they're going to have their moment in the sun, and then they're never going to be heard from again, okay? They'll have one time when they make a great move in the cycle, and then they're going to die, okay? Or they'll just underperform. So again, we have to remember to take profits when the profits are there to be taken. Remember, nobody ever went broke taking profits, okay? But people went broke not taking profits.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking about the market, at the moment, everyone is looking for a Bitcoin hit 100K, but I saw there are many studies, specifically on Finder. It's a UK firm. They also have Australian edition and UK edition, and there are many. They did a study with more than 50 crypto experts, and part of them say that Bitcoin could dip to 20,000. Can it be?
For these people. We're going down to $20,000.
Yes,
look, always
there is a chance.
I don't know. Look, I guess if the only way I see Bitcoin going to 20,000 to not hit 100K, right, and to go down to $20,000 is if we have some kind of new Great Depression, that the 2026 bear market is truly going to be the bear market of bear markets, the once in 100-year reckoning for the global economy where everything is destroyed and just a horrible hurricane of terrible destruction. Stock markets drop 50, 60%, top stocks drop 90%. Crypto coins in that situation, I is savage beyond belief. But even if that does happen in 2026, I think that 2025, we're still going to see new highs. Bitcoin goes to 200, 250K. To drop 90% from 200K is 20K. So I guess they got that going for them. Look, these sort of bearish takes do get a lot of attention, okay? People are always afraid, and I get it. Markets are scary. Losing money is scary. And that fear sells, okay? I've been hearing that Bitcoin is going to go to, well, we heard 12K when it was 15K, right? But I've been hearing that we're going to go back to 20K. And people have been saying very vocally Bitcoin's going back to 20K since 20K, or since 25K, right? But guess what? Since that time, we've come up to almost $100,000, right? We're at mid-$90,000 at the time of recording this video. So the 20K calls, I mean, you need to have some really bad economic stuff, or literally World War III. I mean, I guess World War III would cause it, right? Nuclear Armageddon. I guess we're not. If that happens, we're not going to be so much worried about our crypto coins in that situation. Okay, it's going to be, we're going to have other bigger problems on our hands. And in terms of, you know, an impending U.S. recession, and it's going to be so bad and terrible. Well, we have the Q4 GDP estimates in, and the U.S. economy is growing by 3.2% this quarter, which, you know, I am not the best economist in the world here, but I'm pretty sure that when you have 3.2% GDP growth in the quarter, you're not in a recession. So these kind of takes can sound pretty sexy, right? Oh, it's going to go down to 20K. Oh my gosh, everybody be afraid. But I don't think that they hold a lot of water, especially not at this time in the market cycle. Potentially ever, to be honest. I don't think we're going back to 20K unless something truly, truly bad happens in the world.
Yeah, and let's move to Ethereum because there are many post-merge. There is many challenges for scalability and many layer 2 projects. So what's your take on Ethereum?
Ethereum, I love Ethereum. And I've particularly loved dogging on Ethereum recently because realistically, the Ethereum layer 1 chain, the main chain for Ethereum, is a terrible place to do anything. It's wildly expensive. If you have to do anything there, you're basically just in a situation of pain. Now, obviously, the whales who primarily control the funds on the main Ethereum chain don't really care if they have to pay $20 or $50 to do a swap on Uniswap. We have almost, I think, $100 billion of stablecoins on Ethereum. It's got the biggest total value locked by any protocol, miles ahead. I think we're at $80-90 billion total value locked on Ethereum compared to about $5 billion on Solana, which is the nearest competitor. So that's a bit of perspective for you. People are going to tell you Ethereum's dead and all that kind of stuff. People buying Ethereum don't believe that Ethereum's dead, and Ethereum ETFs will bring in Wall Street at some point. Now, is Ethereum the best trade right now to make? I don't think so. And I've got a big bag of Ethereum, but I've been holding it for a very, very long time. But if I was looking at entering a new position today at this very moment, there's better upside elsewhere, to be honest, right? That being said, ETH probably goes from its current $3,700 or whatever to 10 to 15K market cycle peak, right? But in that situation, your beta plays for Ethereum are going to do better. And other ecosystems, you know, Aptos or Say or Phantom or something like that, probably going to do better as well, okay? So there's that. I think there's been a real struggle for Ethereum to really find its feet this cycle. You know, the layer 2 thing's been fantastic. I spend a lot of time on base, right? It's great, but it's not bringing a huge amount of value right now back to the main chain. And yes, it's creating more demand for Ethereum because you need to have ETH to pay the gas fees over on base, but that's not equating into massive hype for the ETH asset itself, right? That money's going to all kinds of other stuff, right? And stuff like the eigen layer and like restaking your Ethereum. It's way too nerdy to get people really excited, right? I mean, put on your nerd glasses. Oh, I'm going to restake my Ethereum. Okay, great. Is that something that's going to sell to the normies who are coming in and buying dog coins right now? Not really. Not really, okay? It's nerdy technology and it's great, but you have to keep it real. The user experience on like Solana is insanely good right now, which is why it's been doing so well. The user experience on Base, much better than using main chain Ethereum. Obviously, Base is ETH and ETH is Base, but as we've seen, again, it's not driving huge economic value back to the ETH main chain right now.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So it's still going to $10,000 to $15,000, by the way. I'll sell my ETH over $10,000, but these are the struggles that it's going through right now. It doesn't mean that it's going to suppress the price, but that's what's happening.
Yeah, and move to the other gains. I've read articles, like many articles, where you mentioned that XRP is going to grow, and we saw that XRP break the previous all-time high. And what do you think? Is XRP going to grow after this $3 high? Sorry.
Yeah, look, it's been a wild run, and congratulations to all the XRP holders. It's finally we're seeing an end to the insanity of the SEC's war on crypto and XRP. The guys at Ripple Labs, they fought the good fight. They've been fighting the SEC for years. And now we're finally seeing big catalysts coming out for the XRP ledger. The RLUSD stablecoin is launching any day now, I think. So big things happening over there. People are very excited about it. The XRP is one of the household names of the cryptocurrency space. Most people wouldn't be able to name more than a few cryptocurrencies, and I imagine the XRP would be one of those small handful of coins that they could name. So it's got all that going for it. And in terms of a technical perspective, this is the cycle where XRP is going to get a new all-time high, right? So I firmly believe that. Now, how high it's going to go becomes the question. You see, people are going to start bringing out really, really silly numbers. I've already seen people say, oh, it's going to go to $100 or, something like that. XRP is not going to $100, guys. At least not this cycle. Come back in the 2030s. Maybe we'll have a conversation when the monetary systems debase the currencies a lot more and all that kind of stuff in the same situation. When Bitcoin's $1 million, sure, XRP could be $100, okay? But not until then. So this cycle, maybe we see XRP go somewhere between like $6 and $10, right? That becomes more realistic in my mind. And maybe I'm overly bearish. Maybe I need to look into it more and it's going to go to $100. But, guys, do the math. Just do the math. It's insane. XRP is not going to $100 this cycle. I guess, egg on my face if I'm wrong, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense. I think the biggest majority of the gains for XRP have been had over the last few weeks, and that going forward in the cycle, I don't think it's going to dramatically outperform the other big cap coins. We'll see. Ready to be wrong, but that's my opinion now.
Yeah, and if we speak about the project itself, because we did a podcast with Crypto Banter. It's also like popular YouTube influencer and Ron Neuner, and he told that he really don't believe in this project, and he even called this XRP garbage token. So what's your take on the project itself?
Look, I don't own XRP. Well, it was actually one of the first altcoins I ever bought back in 2017. But I don't own XRP, and I haven't owned XRP for quite a long time. It's just never been that attractive for me. Obviously, it's had a great run recently, and that's fantastic. And again, congratulations to all the holders. I always love celebrating people winning in the cryptocurrency market. But in terms of actually going out and buying XRP, I'm not super attracted to it right now. The biggest winners for XRP have always been the people behind Ripple Labs. Brad Garlinghouse and Jed McCaleb, he was one of the original founders of it, went on to found Stellar later. These guys have cashed out literally multi-billions of dollars by selling XRP tokens that they gifted to themselves at the start of the thing, which is fine. You're allowed to obviously do that, and you should be getting paid as founders and stuff like that. One of the biggest use cases up until this point for XRP has been to fund Ripple Labs by selling XRP regularly on the market, which if you're just a holder of XRP has not been a very attractive use case so far. Now, the game-changing moment could come if the RLUSD stablecoin, and if we launch new stablecoins on top of that, especially if they start issuing government-based stablecoins backed by XRP, that becomes a potential game-changing moment for the XRP ledger. That could see real token burns happening, that actually change the fundamental tokenomic picture for XRP. But this is stuff that people tend to overestimate what's going to happen in the short term and underestimate what's going to happen in the long term. Okay, so long term, XRP is going to be fine. XRP is going to start doing all this big, exciting stuff. Short term, people are getting way too excited about things that aren't going to have a massive impact immediately, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. And what about other altcoins that have potential? Like after Bitcoin, Ethereum?
There's so many. How much time you got? Look, realistically, there's a lot of great coins out there. I think one thing to focus on if you're coming into the market right now, generally the market prefers new shiny coins. Obviously, we've seen recent outperformance by XRP, Stellar Lumens, Hedera Hashgraph, Litecoin getting attention, stuff like that. But generally, the market if we look at consistency over time, tends to prefer shiny new coins for a variety of reasons. The tech's better, there's new hype, there's less salty bag holders from years ago, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it becomes very interesting. Obviously, you've seen Sui do incredibly well, hitting new all-time highs, getting massive adoption. I think stuff like the Near protocol and its AI focus has great potential. We have Phantom rebanding to Sonic, which is going to be a very robust blockchain, getting a lot of hype right now on social media. We have Aptos, which has been doing incredibly well recently, and the Say blockchain as well. So these are all getting, if you look at the top, those names I just mentioned, if you look at the top adoption metrics in terms of like total inflows, total daily average users, total transactions, et cetera, I mean, these guys all tend to top the list of those most of the time. So it may not be as sexy as investing in the next big meme coin, right? But blockchains, every market cycle, there tends to be a group of blockchains that have massive performance. And I think that some of those names that I mentioned there are going to be the big winners of this market cycle.
Yeah. That's great that you raise this blockchain project, because there are the crypto space is quickly evolving, and there are Zcash Labs now, a popular AI integration, and what trends investors should expect in the next 2-3 years. For example, like Layer 2 solutions is very popular, and it's I can say it's also in the same page with Memecoin in some way. So
yeah,
what next trends could be that we can grab our attention?
For sure. Look, layer 2 networks are a funny one because I like using layer 2 networks on Ethereum, right? And I think we'll see Bitcoin layer 2s and stuff like that take off as well. But here's the thing, as investments, layer 2s are generally terrible investments because there's generally not much of a reason for the layer 2 token to exist. You don't need a governance token. You're not going to govern the Arbitrum protocol. I like Arbitrum, great layer 2 network, but I don't need to own the Arbitrum token because there's no real use case for it. Well, you got to go and make some governance decisions about tech upgrades over at Arbitrum. Is that a reason for you to invest tens of thousands of dollars of your money into a token? No, of course it's not. Not for most people. Maybe if you're some nerdy dev or something. Look, I think the big things that's going to make a lot of money, AI. AI is not going away. The trend's only going to get dramatically bigger over the next few years. And we're seeing a lot of things, and we talked a little bit about this already, but pay attention to AI agents, pay attention to AI agent frameworks. Okay, currently virtuals on Base, AI 16Z on Solana. We have stuff like a Mo coming. That's going to be really big as well. It's already getting more attention and adoption than virtuals. So that's new stuff launching out soon. I'm investing in that, by the way. But lots of exciting stuff coming in terms of frameworks being launched, AI agents. I mean, AI XBT. We talked about this in the newsletter a few weeks ago, and I didn't buy it when it was a $50 million market cap, but other people did who read the newsletters. Are fantastic for them. And it's already up 400% since then. And it's probably only going to keep going up because it keeps getting new followers on X. It keeps providing good information for people. So there's a lot of opportunity right now over the next few years, I think, not just now, but over the next few years for AI to get way bigger than people think it's potentially going to be. I mean, it's going to be one of the biggest trend-defining moments of our lives as we see AI absolutely take off. I mean, the pre and post AI era is going to be so big. Look, I remember back when I was a kid, before we had the internet, and what the world was like before I was on the internet, back in the 90s, right? And that moment versus the rest of my life on the internet, game changing, right? Everything changed dramatically. AI is that same watershed moment for society where it just expands everything exponentially. And there's a lot of stuff happening in crypto that can give you exposure to that. And that's gonna be one of the biggest trends in my opinion. Now, other stuff like gaming, I'm very bullish on gaming. We've seen like Off the Grid, which is a game launching on Avalanche, getting huge attention. And yeah, this stuff's gonna trend as well. But I think the number one big trend in crypto to pay attention to, keep paying attention to for really probably the next decade is going to be AI blockchains, AI agents, AI frameworks. Anything related to AI has got massive potential in this market cycle. Not to say you should hold any of these things into the bear market, but it's all got massive potential in this market in general.
And what would you say for those who are looking for AI? Because I think everyone is looking for AI as well. And how to define AI project to invest? Because you can invest literally in each. So
Yeah,
how
yeah,
do you find that the project is
sure.
really have potential to invest?
Absolutely. I mean, look, there's a lot of different metrics to look at, right? And there's really three primary areas when you talk about AI. You have AI blockchains, things like the Near protocol. You have AI sort of protocols, and those can boil down into a few different things, right? You have like, for example, Render, which is doing decentralized GPU networks. It's not specifically AI again, but will largely be used for AI, right? So you have applications in AI. And then you have the whole new AI agent space, right? Which is about creating autonomous economic agents in the cryptocurrency space. And that breaks down into the actual agents themselves and the frameworks for the agents. Now, in terms of finding a good one, it's always the tricky thing, isn't it? Look, there's a lot of things you can look at, and it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at for an AI blockchain, okay, well, is it actually getting adoption? Are people actually doing AI stuff on the blockchain? Do the people behind it actually understand artificial intelligence, or is this just something that they've just pivoted to in the last week and now we're an AI chain because that's hot? You really have to try to dig under the hood, and that's why I mentioned Near protocol, because the founders of the Near protocol, they're actually AI developers who built Near protocol as an AI chain before the market was ready for AI stuff. So they actually had to pivot a bit away from AI for a while, but now they're coming back to the roots and are launching some of the biggest AI initiatives in the world actually on the Near blockchain. So I'm an investor in Near, by the way, but that's something to pay attention to there. So look for actual adoption statistics, actual adoption metrics, big backers, stuff like this. In terms of the AI agent space, I mean, it's really frothy and messy, but look for good ideas. Look for ideas that you resonate with, ideas that you think are going to have actual value in the marketplace. Other people assume have value in the marketplace as well. And that's the AI agent space. It's hard to adequately value some of these things right now because there's a lot of hype at the moment. I mean, how much is AI XBT? What's the fair market value for an AI influencer on X? Is it billions of dollars, or is it tens of millions of dollars or less? What will the market actually decide? Well, currently the market's saying it's worth $250 million. How far that runs, hard to say. But look for what's growing adoption. AI XBT is a great example. Their Twitter account's absolutely exploding, going from like 20K last week to like 80K today or something like that. So you see massive hype building behind it. It's delivering real value in the things that it says. So that's a big thing as well. Is there actual value being delivered here? And is there tangible value that you can understand? Because a lot of the times you'll see with AI, they just put the AI name on stuff and there's no real discernible real world value for people. And if the idea is too complicated, people aren't going to understand it either. And that's something to keep in mind. I've seen some of these where the devs are so hopelessly antisocial and nerdy that your idea is never going to take off because you can't explain it properly. You need simple ideas that connect with people, where AI XBT as an example. Again, I don't have a position in this one, but we did talk about in the newsletter. AI XBT is a great example. Oh, it's an AI agent on X and it shares valuable information all the time and you can buy the token for it. It's an easy idea to understand, right? Whereas you get some ideas that are way too damn complicated. So look for easy ideas, good backers, good metrics, and that can help you to find the hidden gems.
Yes, and when you're analyzing which projects is good and for investment and good and has some potential, are you based on the charts or you also read the news, and based on that you make a decision? Because I know some traders that never make a decision based on the news because for them it's just a noise.
Sure. Look, news can definitely drive things, right? But you have to look at a few different things here. One, if we're looking at chart analysis, right? Something like the Near blockchain, again, it's been around for a while, so it's got good charts available, right? You can actually have a history of charts that you can look at and go, okay, this is resistance, this is support, et cetera, right? Stuff that's a new launch, like a new AI agent launching, there's no charts. Or you can look at the 5-minute charts because it's been available for 2 days or something. Like, that's not really the same, right? So you have to just sort of go on different metrics at that point. What is the potential? How much are you willing to risk? Stuff like this. So there's different ideas depending on the age of the asset and the newness of an asset. Again, like AI XBT is a great example that how can you really value that moving forward, right? I mean, the charts are looking juicy and there was a great breakout and all that stuff. But then is it something that's going to, because it's such a new asset class, outperform where people might assume that it will do on the charts, right? Because we can see that happen. So there's definitely two areas to discuss there. One is newer assets that you don't really have any chart to go on, and others that have been around for a while, then look for good support resistance, enter at support with exit resistance, all that kind of stuff, great reasonable price targets, etc. That works, I think, pretty well still.
Yes, and do you believe that crypto and digital currency can replace like our fiat system, and this CBDC and decentralized alternatives? How could it change the game, the principle of the game? Do you believe in this?
Everything's going to be digital, right? Everything is going to be run across blockchain networks, some more decentralized than others, let's say. CBDCs are coming. CBDCs will be a massive part of the future. Some countries will resist for some time, but eventually all countries will adopt some form of central bank digital currency in different ways. Now, you might look at the RLUSD stablecoin from XRP. It's not a central bank digital currency, but it is a US dollar denominated stablecoin, right? Not necessarily issued by the government, but let's say in close partnership with a lot of major financial players, right? And so we'll see the private market put forward a lot of great solutions. We'll see the public market, the government put forward a lot of solutions as well, right? So there's going to be a bit of everything happening here. But my belief is that in probably 10 to 15 years, the vast majority of value is going to be transacted across these kind of layers. And that's not just me saying this, okay? You want somebody a little more professional than than Lark Davis on YouTube, then go talk to Larry Fink from frickin' BlackRock. Larry Fink, one of the most powerful men in the world, he believes that everything's going to be tokenized, that everything is going to have a digital equivalent, right? That we're going to have stocks on the blockchain, that we're going to have real estate on the blockchain, commodities on the blockchain, treasuries on the blockchain. It's all going to be tokenized, and that's the future that BlackRock and Larry Fink see. And if BlackRock and Larry Fink see that as the future, you better bet your bottom dollar that that is going to be the future, because BlackRock's going to make that the future. So everything is going to move into these systems. Why? Because it's better. It's better on every metric. And the tokenization of everything is a great example of that, because right now, for the stock world, it's so opaque, it's expensive, it's slow, there's clearing houses that have to do, and they charge a middleman fee and all this stuff. You're going to remove all that. Everything's going to be way more efficient, 24/7, 365, lower fees, and greater ability to use your money in a decentralized fashion. You're going to be able to take your stock portfolio, tokenize it, take a loan versus it in a minute. It's going to change the game, and it's all coming because that's the future that BlackRock is creating for us. And we've been working on it, of course, in crypto for a very long time, but that's going to be the game-changing moment when all these massive institutions get behind making that a reality, and they are.
Yeah, BlackRock is here. So, and do you think when it will be like reality, do we have opportunity to make money in crypto as we do right now?
There's going to be, I think, for the next 10 years, probably, is going to be the absolute golden era for making money in the cryptocurrency market. After that, it's going to be more like investing in the stock market and stuff. Lots of great opportunity all the time, obviously, but not like this, not like it's been for the past few years, or not like it's probably going to be until the end of the decade. This is really the golden era for making gargantuan sums of money in crypto. So congratulations that you're here. Take advantage of it.
Yes, that's true. And we can't skip Memecoins because they're everywhere, and it's like the part, as you told, this is the part of social projects. So what Memecoins you can apart from others? Like
what differentiates one meme point? Well, look, surviving, that's one thing. most meme coins fail to survive even a few minutes in the market. Realistically, again, look at the pumped up fund statistics, 99.9% of meme coins don't make it more than a few hours, okay? Survival becomes a very key factor. Growing numbers of token holders, that's a very positive thing. Locked liquidity, that's a good thing, so devs can't rug pull it. Stuff like this is important to watch out for. I like to look for meme coins that have had a good initial run up, maybe to 100 million or $200 million market cap, had that 50-60% pullback. Those tend to be ones that are showing, okay, they survived. They survived the initial run. They didn't just go back to zero. They found their footing somewhere at $100 million or $50 million. They didn't just fall straight back to zero. They didn't straight up rug pull. So look for a good idea, an idea that people can get behind, a meme coin that's actually got whale activity that the market makers are buying, that's got growing token holders, stuff like that. That's generally the recipe for success. And very, very, very few meme coins can actually show that.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. And now we have some short answer questions, and you just need to pick one answer.
Let's do it.
So yeah, Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Bitcoin.
One altcoin you've bullish right now?
Aptos.
Your favorite crypto meme? Meme coin.
My favorite meme coin, Brett. My favorite meme is the Anakin Padme meme. You know this one where it's like Anakin's like, says something and Padme's looking like all unimpressed. I think that's one of my favorite memes. We use it all the time in crypto.
What is the token you regret to invest in?
Oh, there's so many.
I know Luna is of course, but something new. We need something new.
Something that's not Luna. Goodness gracious, I don't know. Gosh, there's so many of them. I don't tend to focus on regret very much, but I don't know. I could literally give you dozens of names. Let's just leave it there.
Okay. Yes, and I want to back to your. I can call it maybe mission, because you're like a teacher. Your soul is a teacher, and you have your newsletter. And can you tell us more about what are you focusing on right now in terms of these lessons for investors or for traders? I don't know.
Yeah, so right now I think the big focus at the current stage of the market cycle is to let people know where we are in the market cycle, and just keep preaching the good gospel of taking damn profits, because I don't want to see, and I know most people are going to do it because the greed's going to take over, and I can say this 1,000 times, and when I announce that I'm fully cutting all my altcoins and stuff like that, people are going to tell me I'm an idiot. I understand. But you got to take profits, guys. It's one of the big things, and we keep talking about that. Talk about strategies, talking about signals to watch for, talking about strategies for selling, all this kind of stuff. And I think it's one of the most important things, education-wise, to let people know, because most people get stuck at that key point. So we're focusing on education. We're focusing on bringing people value, and that's just, we do more of that, essentially. More and more of that all the time.
Yes, and the last question is also very important. How you plan to celebrate Christmas?
Usual stuff, just with the family. Take it chill, take a few days off work, relax, open presents, eat food, have grandma come over. It'll be a good time.
Yep, that's it. I think we discussed like everything: meme coins, altcoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, AI, big technology. I think you give us more useful information, and like maybe the last one, what piece of advice you would tell to our users, to our listeners today?
Take your profits or the market will take them for you. It's true every time. It'll be true this time.
Yeah, thank you. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the last word is, if you like our podcast, please comment below, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Yeah, thank you for joining. It was really useful for me, especially for me, for our listeners, I'm pretty sure. And there are many insightful information. And the most important that you give like the basic information about how to approaches to crypto, because it's not just making money in a second.
Mhm.
It's like the philosophy about the money, about the crypto. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
And we also waiting for you, if you want to tell us more predictions or to tell us about your product. If you want to launch something, you're welcome.
Perfect. I'd be happy to come and talk to you guys again.
Yeah, thank you.